welcome back to my channel, sports fans. Okay, let's get into this one right here. The LeBron dirtbag fans are back at it again. They won't stop. They are back at it again, counting Michael Jordan's money. This time, they say all things NBA. That's a group on Facebook. They say it was because of Michael Jordan that the Bulls got broken up. Michael Jordan broke up the team. Wow. And let me try to read this because, LeBron fans, they can't spell. They can't write. They can't read. You got to remember, LeBron, he reads books upside down. So either he's illiterate or, I don't know, maybe he's Einstein's cousin, where he can read backwards, upside down, read the book from the last page to the front page, the last page to the first page. These are the things that LeBron does. And we don't know if he does these things on purpose. Because we know that Nick Wright, Shannon Sharp, and people like this are not dumb people. Outside of talking about LeBron James, or when they don't talk about LeBron James, they seem highly intelligent. When they have to make a case for LeBron James, they got to cut corners, make up stuff, slander people, make up numbers, change numbers around, make fun of the history of the NBA, point the finger at other people instead of looking at his stats for his entire career, his actual play on the court for his entire career, being a leader of the team, him taking accountability. All these things they don't talk about, which are simple things. So let's try to read this. I thought they said Krause broke off the dynasty. I think he means broke up the dynasty. And why wasn't these contracts ever discussed? We're talking about what Michael Jordan made in 97 and 98 versus his team. Why weren't these contracts ever discussed? I thought we talked about it. They talked about this years ago when these contracts were signed in the 90s. Let's move on. Ever discussed when everybody was trying to blame Krause for ending the dynasty? This ish-bag contract was bigger than the entire roster altogether that year. So he calls Michael Jordan's contract a ish bag. And he says that because Michael Jordan signed for $30 million for the last 2 seasons. And check it out. We ain't going to try to hide it. But what we're going to do is we're going to show you how Michael Jordan was never the highest paid player in the NBA when he came into the NBA until 97 is when he was the highest paid player in the NBA. He had other players making more money than him from other teams. So Michael Jordan, $33 million. Tony Kukoc, $4 million. Remember, these guys are getting paid like role players. This is what role players were making back then. So this was 97 or 98. He made the same thing in both of them years, basically. Ron Harper, $4 million, 4.5. Rodman, 4.5. Longley, 3.1. Scottie Pippen, 2.7. We all know Scottie signed the bad contract. Whose fault is that? And when we go back and look at it, Pippen ended up making more than Michael Jordan for his entire NBA career than Michael Jordan made. Winnington, 1.8. Burrell, 1.4. Randy Brown, 1.2. Who is this? Robert Parrish, 1.5. He was making it. for being the last dude on the bench, he was making it. As far as a role player, he only made like basically $1 million less than Scottie Pippen. McCaffrey, 850. Steve Kerr, 750. Who's this? Keith Booth, 500,000. Bushler, 500. And Joe Klein, 200. Well, except for Scottie Pippen, those are role player salaries. Why was Michael Jordan's salary so much? Not only are we going to see why in a minute, but let's remember, in 96, Michael Jordan actually proved himself when he came back, when he played that full season. Best record of all time in the NBA, MVP, first team defense, all-star MVP, won the championship, won a scoring title. This is impossible. After basically taking 2 years off. Yes, he played a little in 15 games the season before. It's impossible what he did. In 96, he didn't come back like, I'm Air Jordan. Nope. He was no longer that type of player where he was jumping over everybody. He had to get in the gym and develop crazy footwork. Go look at the 95-96 season. Go check that out. The mid-range was absolutely nasty. And the footwork was nasty. The leadership was great. The defense was the best I've ever seen, the 96 Bulls. So it was impossible what happened in 95-96 to do all that. Yeah, he could have came back. Maybe won an MVP. Maybe won a championship without having the best record of all time. Something like that. But to check every box after being off for 2 years is incredible. In a physical league. And how physical was it? The scoring slowed all the way down. You was lucky to score 100 points a game. So coming into the next season, Mike deserved that money. In the last season with the Bulls, he deserved that money. So let's check it out. We'll start from 84. Who was all the way until 98? Who was getting paid all this money? Was it Michael Jordan? 84, Magic Johnson, 2.5. These are the highest paid players year by year. 84 to 98. 85, Magic Johnson, 2.5. 86, Magic Johnson, 2.5. 87, Patrick Ewing, 2.7. 88, Patrick Ewing, 3.2. 89, Patrick Ewing, 3.7. 90, Patrick Ewing, 4.2. 1991, Bird, 7 million. 92, David Robinson, 5.7. 93, David Robinson, 5.7. Again. 94, Magic Johnson. Thought he was old, man. Sick. 14 million. 95, Patrick Ewing, 18 million. And this is a mistake, and I'm going to show you. It says Jordan 96, 30 million. No, that was 97. And then it says Jordan in 97 97, yes, was making 33 million. But I think that was 98. So all these guys from 84 all the way until 96 was making more than Michael Jordan. Whether it was Magic Johnson, Magic Johnson, he on there like 6 times almost. He was making more than Jordan in the 90s. Pretty much all the 90s. David Robinson was making more. Patrick Ewing, a lot of times. There's no time that David Robinson and Patrick Ewing was better than Michael Jordan. In the 90s, Larry Bird making more money than Michael Jordan was not better than Michael Jordan. Magic Johnson in the 90s was not better than Michael Jordan. And let me tell you, these are just the highest paid players of that decade. Or that year, my fault. For that year. There were many other players making more than Michael Jordan in the 90s. I never seen Michael Jordan with no $100 million contract. Larry Johnson was getting a $100 million contract. I think Penny Hardaway got one. I think Grant Hill got one. Who else is it? I think Shaq got a $100 million contract in the 90s. And if not, these guys were still making, contracts that were 80, 90, 70 million. Michael Jordan never got nothing like that. And I don't care about people saying, oh, well, yeah, other endorsements, man. Yeah, Nike. Yeah, Gatorade. Yeah, Ballpark Franks. Was it Ballpark Franks? What was that one? I thought it was Ballpark Franks. Hanes. Wheaties. I think McDonald's. Was he on McDonald's at one time? I thought he was. Took the game global. Yes, Michael Jordan didn't need the contract money, but guess who would have got the contract money? LeBron would have been quick to take that contract money over winning. Michael Jordan didn't take that money early on over winning. Right? By the time 1990, that man could have been demanding $30 million a year or I'm gone. And they would have had to give it to him. Just to fill those seats. They would have had to give it to him. Or $20 million. They would have had to give it to him. What broke up the team? We all know what broke up the team. Now the dumb LeBron fans want to play dumb. Like they don't know. Like they don't know what broke up that team. They want to play dumb. So let's explain it to them. Scottie Pippen wanted a new contract because he signed a bad contract. They told him, don't sign this contract. But Pippen, feeling like he was going to get hurt and not be able to sign a good contract in the future, he was scared he was going to be injured. So he took the money. He signed the contract. Even Jerry Krause and all them in the office said, don't sign this. This is what we can give you now if you want to sign it, but don't sign it. And he went and signed it. He screwed himself. So he wanted another contract, but they won't give it to him. So he was going to leave. They wanted Phil Jackson gone. So Michael Jordan, they wanted Phil gone after 96. And Dennis Rodman, they were talking about not signing him after 96. So they were signing 1-year contracts. Phil Jackson, Dennis Rodman. What idiots that run any kind of company would not pay these players their money? And you just came off the best record of all time? So after 97, like I said, because they were on 2-year contracts. I mean, single contracts, 97 and 98. After they won the championship in 97, nobody knew they was even going to come back and play in 98. They were still talking about it in the offseason. So they came back in 98 and played for one more season. And when they won the championship in 98, they said the same thing. Go look at the post games. They all wanted to come back. But the Bulls organization broke up the team, which, I really think it was deeper than that. I think the NBA broke up that team. That's what I think. You're telling me you're going to break up a three-peat team that's bringing in all this money? To do what? To start all over and do what? So you're going to lose money the next season, the next... What? Don't make sense to me. Sounds deeper than what it was. To me, I think the NBA broke up that team. Some people say, oh man, they probably would not have won the next year because of the Spurs. They couldn't beat the Spurs. Huh? They beat the Spurs in the regular season. I'll tell you that. If you got Micheal Jordan on that team, I don't care what you're talking about. I know Dennis Rodman got a little bit older. Scottie Pippen got a little bit older. But the experience counts. If you would have brought back that team, who knows? They probably would have won it again. Just with the sheer will and experience. Remember, they was the oldest team to win the championship. So Dennis kept playing for a few years. Pippen kept playing for a few years. Ron Harper, he won championships. He kept playing. Steve Kerr won championships and kept playing. How do you know Micheal Jordan would have not have took less money to do a four-peat? And you brought back Phil Jackson. To me, it seems like it was something bigger, and it had to do with the NBA. I think they just wanted to move on from the Bulls. I think that was enough for them. Because like I said, what organization is going to throw away billions of dollars if they could have these guys until Jordan played for his 15th season? You going to throw away that kind of money? That makes no sense. So let's look at this timeline for Micheal Jordan by year. Well, it's the 90s. So 90, 91, he made 2.5. 91, 92, he made 3 million. 92, 93, 4 million. 93, 94, he made 4 million. 94, 95, he made 3.8. I don't know why they was paying him. He was over there playing baseball. Maybe he was, giving some input in the organization. Maybe they owed him some money. But trust me, 3.8 million for a superstar then was nothing. 95, 96, when he played 18 games? 3.8. And then here we go. 96, 97, 30, 97, 98, 33. Mike knew he had to get his money those next 2 years. I try to tell you, everybody was like on a 1-year contract those last 2 years. So Mike had to get his money. He made that organization a $1 billion franchise. Washington, 1 million, 2001, 2002. He gave that money to 9/11 victims in 02, 03. 1 million. You think LeBron will play for $1 million? Oh man, Mike got money, man. You think LeBron James will play for $1 million? LeBron, Mike, let me tell you, Mike didn't have $1 billion back then playing for Washington. He didn't have $1 billion. LeBron done had $1 billion for what? Few years? 4 years? And he's still getting max contracts. He got his son in the NBA making money off these jersey sales now. It's supposed to be this record-breaking jersey sales. I'm like, whoever wearing Bronny's jersey lives a loser life in a loser to be wearing a loser's jersey. Because they're going to think that, man, we can pawn this, we can sell it. Go ahead. Bronny is in the league to make money for LeBron fans. No, let me tell you something. You got to think outside of LeBron fans, no other NBA fans like LeBron James. They don't like the guy. You could never say that about any other fan base towards Jordan. Maybe Detroit, that's it. But New York fans, or let's say a Patrick Ewing fan, a Keem Olajuwon fan, a Wilt Chamberlain fan, a Jerry West fan, a Charles Barkley fan, a John Stockton fan, a Reggie Miller fan, etc. You could never say these fans hate or don't like Michael Jordan. You can never say that. But on the other hand, people who have their best player of all time, like a Kobe fan, a Michael Jordan fan, a Karl Malone fan, you guys know what I'm talking about. They don't like LeBron James. Because all he did was cheat the game, lie, flop, cry, hasn't developed any positional skills, has been a career loser, team hopper, super team builder, and now they want us to embrace his son? Not. It's not like we're going to embrace Michael Jordan's son, or Kobe Bryant's son, or Karl Malone's son, or John Stockton's son, or Bill Russell's son, or David Robinson's son, or Tim Duncan's son. This is LeBron's son. The same guy that chased away half of the fan base from the NBA. I've heard this so many times, and I read so many books. You got NBA fans that left because of LeBron, and they're not going to come back until this guy is gone. As this guy continues to take max contracts and say he's going to own the Vegas team. Oh, yeah. Oh, man, LeBron owned the team, and he got his son in the NBA. And then, yeah, Michael Jordan never got, his team as an owner, to the playoffs this many times, man. Never to the finals. These are loser LeBron fans. Fans of a guy who only cares about money. Not winning, not positional skills, not team leadership, not being the greatest of all time based on his play on the court, but through the media. A stat line and a storyline through the media. So if you thought Michael Jordan was money hungry and he broke up a team because of money, there you have it. Tell me what you think.